one of our customers, I won't use his name, was like, yeah, I actually was able to give the device to the CEO and he could walk around. I didn't need to handle the device. It's like, well, what can I do? Just use it. It works. This is a working, this is feature incomplete, but the features that are there work. You can make a sale. You can, there's a whole bunch of stuff that works. It's just, there's some things you can't do. And so rather than having to carefully allow demos with the executives, like, no, just touch it yourself and walk away and come back. They were blown. In my recollection, Josh, were they not blown away by that? They completely unprecedented for them.
Yep.
Yeah. And we get that for free just because of the way you work. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the thing that a lot of people I don't think understand is certain ways of working are so different that you cannot appreciate them until you've had the experience. Git is, for me, an example of that. TDD is another example of that. Continuous delivery. All these practices, they're much more powerful than even obvious on the surface because of how they change human interaction and how they change feedback loops, which most people don't think about until you're getting bit in the butt by them. So,
yeah, Brett, you haven't said the word evolutionary design, but like we don't break off into a bunch of teams that start building components and then very, very late in the game try to integrate a bunch of components. We're building working software. So no matter what, let's say I'm building a system to book tennis courts, the very first story is going to just be very basic, book a court, and not factor in teams or any other leagues or this or that, anything complicated, just book a court. And it's going to work, and it's going to be underdeveloped, but it'll be very primitive, but it will work. You can book a court, and we're going to go from there. So we're building up from an embryonic version of the software all the way through more and more versions. The walking skeleton's another term for it. You have a walking skeleton. You're adding flesh to the bones. That's how we do things. So you have working, tested software, albeit, as Brett said, not completely done. And as the weeks and months pass, it becomes more fuller and fuller bodied, and until it's a finished thing.
Yeah. Which is part of the conversation on a regular basis of, is this necessary now? We're constantly trying to decrease the amount of work we're doing. And so the work we do is high quality, but then maximize the amount of work not done.
Yeah.
And we'll constantly say, is that needed now? Is this small added feature good enough to put in the user's hands to get feedback from them before we add all these 20 other features that they may or may not need?
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to there being a vertical slice of what we're actually trying to build. We're not horizontally building, like say, for example, the tennis court was a web page and there's actually like 30 buttons that we maybe were thinking of building. We wouldn't go build all 30 buttons and then, you click them and the page crashes. We're just going to build the one button, the one form for booking the tennis court first. And that enables, again, you could release that the second that actually works. And that's going back to the story about the execs walking away with it. Yeah, go walk away with it, with the demo. Everything that you can press works. There's things not there, but they're intentionally not there because they don't do anything.
And by the way, that idea often leads to not doing work. Now, interestingly, in our case, we have an existing application with 10 years of use with real customers that have features that they're using. And unfortunately, they've got at least one customer using every feature. So we can't get rid of a lot of features with what we're doing. But a lot of times you show a partial thing and it's like, oh, actually, that's the value we need. We really thought we needed this more, but let's just wait. And then it doesn't ever come up again because you didn't need it, right? I mean, what's the stats? Like 80% of all features aren't used. Most, like 50% of all corporate applications just fail flat out. 70 or 80% of features are either partially or not used. So if you can find the stuff you don't want to do, it turns out not testing code that you didn't write is the most efficient way of saving time, right? The stuff you don't write saves you a lot of time.
Yeah, and we love a pull, not a push.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Push is bad. Pull good.